Hi, welcome to the track guide for Oran Park. So this one is partly cloudy, 22 degrees Celsius air temp, track temp of 41. So let's go ahead on the onboard on the fastest lap that I did. And there you go, that was a 15.4, so we're gonna go on board and slow down. So coming into the first corner here, you're gonna see I'm going to turn in nice and easy. I want to get as close to this curb in here as possible and then slowly wash out to the edge. Pretty much when I'm hitting this curbing is when I'm braking, probably a little bit before that. You can see here a little bit before that, I'm getting on the brakes fairly hard. Coming out to this, I want to get pretty much my right tires on this white concrete here. You can tell I was a little bit out of sorts coming into this one. But yeah, I managed to hold it, so no problem there. So, and then you start turning in at the end of this curbing. Don't want to get onto this because it'll push you wide a little bit, but as close as possible. Second gear, coming out of the corner nice and wide. Next corner here, pretty much starting to brake, maybe a little bit after this white concrete patch here. This is a really hard corner because it opens up when you can't really see it at the end. So I think I'd go down to first gear, hard on the brakes, chucking it in there, down to first gear, back on throttle pretty hard. And it's deceiving because you kind of think it opens up more than it does, or not as much as it does, depending on how you kind of do it. I tend to always go way too shallow. I don't go wide enough for some reason. But on this lap, I do pretty well here. Coming right up into this curb in here, two tires on the left, or two left tires onto it. This corner here is very tricky because there's different bumps going on. So you can go up to third gear before the corner and then down to second for the corner. I just leave it in second and just kind of slowly get on the brakes here, trying to manage the braking with the pavement changes. You can see I kind of like go higher on the brakes, and then once I get over this hump, I kind of go off the brakes, and then I get on the throttle, and you kind of have to just manage because there's a lot of bumping going on here. So you just manage the throttle for a little bit, then you go full throttle, come out nice and wide here. This one's, again, there's a bit of a hump coming off of this one, so it tends to push the car wide. But I come up into third gear here and then just ease off the throttle, just get that front end turned in, hit that curb on the right, and then back on throttle, just trying to get the two left tires on this concrete. This one here is really tricky because if you don't turn in early enough, you're just not going to get anywhere near the apex. You got to turn in a little bit earlier, a little bit of brake in, trying to get those right-hand tires onto this concrete patch. And then you just come out to this curb in here again, all the way out to the right. I'm going to start braking just before this curb in here. And again, you want to get your left-hand tires at the apex onto the concrete again. You'll see here a little bit of braking, just enough to get that front end turned in, get those left-hand tires over that concrete patch, out as wide as you can, and you kind of come to the middle of the track, just to straight line this. I completely messed this one up. So normally what you do here is you'd get these right-hand tires over this curb, and you kind of almost straight lined it. For some reason, I turned to the right a little bit too much, and you can see I completely missed it. So the apex is here. So if you go back, you can straight line this right with this tree here. You don't need to turn to the right as much as I did. You can definitely gain time here. Straight line it right with the tip of the tree. So you can see there's nothing here. There's a tree over here. You can definitely aim it right for this one here. And you can see that would have been perfect. I went a little too wide. And then coming down on this one here, you use the dip as your kind of braking marker just before the dip. You can see I'm already on the brakes just a little bit, and then I'll progressively get harder as the dip goes up. Down to second gear, getting these two left tires over this patch, and then all the way out to the wall, and then down the straightaway we go. This is a really tricky track. I ended up setting a 15.4, but you can see there's a couple of corners where I could have gained some time, so I might get down into the 14s. Let's go on the bar chase. Back to the original lap. And we will play this lap. And there you go. There's track guide for Oran Park.